Lauren, thank you so much for joining me today to talk about some really passionate topics that both you and I have passion over. Maybe first introduce yourself and tell us a little bit what you do.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me, Melissa. Lauren Livak Gilbert. I lead the Digital Shelf Institute community of industry thought leaders, retailers, brands across the e-commerce space. We have almost 11,000 members, which is really exciting.
Oh,
I
11,000.
know. Yeah, we've grown a lot in the past couple of years.
Amazing. I think I was there in the early days when you had not 11,000. So,
Yeah, you were, and it was definitely not 11,000.
well, we talk a lot about leadership, strategy, AI, and commerce, but there's a big question that comes up before anybody walks on a stage, and that is, what should I wear? The dreaded pack for a conference where we're hitting conference season. March is like a crazy month. And I guarantee every single person looks at their suitcase and they think about what are they going to wear? So first question, Lauren, is are you a carry-on or do you have to check your bag before a conference?
Oh, I'm a carry-on. I've had some really crazy stuff happen with suitcases, so I try really hard to just fit in a carry-on, and then you're on and off, and it's just easy peasy. How about you? Yeah.
I'm definitely a carry-on. It helps that I'm a size 5 shoe. Because My
That
shoes,
does help.
my shoes are very little, so I can pack a lot of shoes. I can get four of those shoes in there when they're
I'm
little.
an 8.5, so I definitely have to be strategic.
Okay, so you've helped a lot of leaders get on stage for the first time. What's your biggest advice for choosing something to wear that actually helps your confidence and any tips in general?
Yeah, well, first, I think this topic is so important because it matters so much about your confidence and how you present yourself. And if someone comes to me and says, like, this is my first time presenting, what do I wear? I always say the number one thing is you have to feel good and you have to feel confident. So if you don't like wearing dresses, don't wear a dress. Like, just set yourself up for success and focus on confidence first and comfort because you're already potentially in a setting that's making you uncomfortable. So, what are the things that are in your control that can really make you feel comfortable on stage, whether it's a panel or a presentation or whatever you're doing, kind of public speaking? I actually have like a series of questions I go through. The first one is, will you be sitting or standing? And I always ask, is it a stool? Because if it's
Mhm.
a stool and you're wearing a dress or a skirt and you're wearing heels, sometimes it can be incredibly awkward to get up on that stool. So always ask the kind of furniture and knowing if you're wearing a dress or pants. And also temperature is really important. So if it's hot and you're going to be sitting down and potentially sweat could be involved, make sure you monitor
Mhm.
the color that you're wearing so you can't see that. The microphone is a big one. So if you do get mic'd up with a lavalier, that battery pack has to go somewhere. So you have
Mhm.
to have a pocket or you have to have somewhere that it can clip to. So I love wearing rompers, but I can't wear a romper without a pocket because then there's literally no place to attach it except behind your head, and that's incredibly uncomfortable. So thinking about microphone and like where that battery pack is going to go, if it's going to be recorded or not, that is a comfort level thing. It's a corporate comms thing. So just like asking that kind of question. And then choice of color. So a lot of conferences have colors and themes, and they usually have a backdrop. And I've definitely worn an outfit that either clashed or just blended in with the backdrop. So just good things to ask and be curious about when you're prepping for your outfit.
That's super helpful. Okay, so you just kind of said a few things, but when you walk on a stage, what's the outfit that makes you feel the most comfortable and confident and why?
Yeah, I'm definitely, like I said, a big romper person, and that's definitely a controversial thing. But for me,
Mhm.
it's one piece, and I don't have to worry about different things. Like, I don't have to worry about a shirt getting untucked or a skirt like getting kind of wrinkled or something like that. So I really like to do rompers because it's less to worry about with pockets to make sure that the battery pack fits. But that's usually what makes me feel really confident. And I like color. So, especially when I'm on stage, I like to wear a big, bold color. If anyone's ever seen me speak, I usually wear like green or blue or red. And so for me, that's my go-to.
Hmm. All right. And are there any non-negotiables that you always pack? A backup outfit or a certain blazer or an accessory?
I
Yeah.
am a always be prepared kind of gal, so I always have a backup outfit. I actually have a funny story. So I was wearing a romper actually, and it had like a button on the top, and that was like the closure for the whole thing. And I was walking through the conference, and someone stopped me, and I like went to give them a hug, and the button popped off, and the whole back of my romper kind of just like opened up. And so, for those moments, I went upstairs and I changed into my backup outfit. But I also always carry a sewing kit because I've definitely had things like that happen or buttons pop off before.
Okay, that would mean that you would have to sew and know how to sew, which
True, yes, I do know how to sew.
it's not hard, but I can't remember the last time I did that. So maybe safety pins might be
Yeah, safety
another
pins.
alternative. I have a paranoia about jeans. I always bring an extra pair of jeans because I don't know what I think, like
Oh.
something's going to spill like in the plane or something like that. But I always have a paranoia about something like that. So I always bring some kind of backup something.
And Melissa, there's one other thing I want to add. You were talking about kind of like your emergency kit, and I didn't talk
Yeah.
about this, but a Tide to Go pen. I have it in every backpack, every purse. They also make shout wipes, so whatever works for you. But I definitely always carry that.
That's a good one. That should be swag.
Yeah, we all have our things. And I think also for pants, like before I go on stage, I always do like a mental check, like make sure your fly is zipped up, make sure you're buttoned, to make sure you're tucked in, like just have like a little bit of a mental checklist before you go on stage.
Yeah, and have a friend that can help you with any embarrassing.
Yes,
Uh,
100%.
so is there anything that you think is worth investing in when building out a wardrobe? Shoes, blazer, what are those things?
Yeah, so because I do a lot of speaking and I wouldn't say I'm the most like fashion forward in terms of how to pair outfits together, I actually spent a lot of time figuring out what a stylist would be like. And so I actually found the store Ever Eve, if you've ever heard of it, they're all across the country. And the premise of the store is everybody who works there is a stylist and they don't work on commission and they actually like group style you. So you go in and you have such an amazing experience because they're like, "Ooh, I like that," or "I don't like that," or "I'll pair you with this," or "This is how you should be thinking about your body type." So I have to give a huge shout out to Evereve, and if you live in Massachusetts and you're listening to this and you go in the store and mention it, you'll get a discount. So I encourage anyone who lives in Mass to do that. But the outfit I'm wearing today is from them. They put me in a short sleeve leather blazer, which I never would have kind of paired. But for me, it was a stylist because I needed to learn how to pair things together, what my body type was, and what certain clothes fit. And once I realized that, I realized I was wearing all the wrong clothes. And it wasn't complimentary to my body type or kind of what I felt comfortable in. And it's just really great insight that you can take when you're building out any of your outfits yourself from your own closet.
Hmm. I know Nordstrom also has a free stylist program too, so you can just call Nordstrom and get appointments. So for anyone that wants to do that.
When something fits you super well and it's the right color, you know that feeling when you look in the mirror and you just like feel great in it. Like that's how you want to present yourself when you're on stage or when you're maybe feeling uncomfortable and need to be confident about something. So it really does matter. The whole look good, feel good thing is real.
Definitely. All right, well, let's talk about shoes. I feel like shoes have taken a transition through time. I'm a sneaker girl. I will go to a conference because you're walking so much. I think that there's a lot of trends in shoe fashion. But what's your philosophy on, and what has maybe Everett told you about shoes?
Yeah, I mean, I think COVID changed this for a lot of people. I think there was more of a stigma around wearing sneakers before COVID, I have to say, but I'm also a sneaker gal. I'm kind of comfort first, especially at conferences when you're walking so much. So, like a clean, crisp white sneaker, I think kind of goes with anything. But if you like heels and that's your thing, then wear heels. And I always bring a backup pair in my backpack. So I always have like comfy shoes if I'm wearing uncomfortable shoes. So if you want to put the heels on for the night event and then put on the comfy shoes when you have to walk, like just kind of plan that part out. And I would say the one thing I learned from Evereve about shoes was one, tying in the color. So like let's say that you have like all darker colors on, you can have like a lighter colored shoe that kind of pops and kind of pulls the colors together and then wear accessories that kind of go with that. They've also gotten me out of my comfort zone where I don't really like to wear open-toed shoes, but I have tried some open-toed shoes because they worked really well with the outfit. But it's important to think about like from head to toe your proportions. So like if you have a tighter outfit on top, maybe you wear a higher boot because it kind of gives you more volume on your legs. Like it's proportional to your body and how you kind of fit all those pieces together. So thinking about the whole outfit is really important. Where
Hmm.
before I used to just think about each individual item and I didn't really think about the whole outfit. That was really a shift I made once I started working with a stylist. And shout out to Jen because she was a huge help in teaching me all of this.
Is that your stylist?
Yes.
My key takeaway is get a stylist.
Yes,
Anybody, everybody
100%.
should have one.
Yes. And it can be free, right? Like when you say stylist, a lot of people think like, oh my gosh, it's going to be super expensive. No, like going to a store like Evereve, going to a Nordstrom, there's a lot of opportunities to get free styling with very little pressure, but just learn your body type, learn your style, learn what fits, learn what works really well. And they push me out of my comfort zone, and I really like that. I never would have put on leather pants, and I love my leather pants.
So, speaking of conferences, let's talk about that. It can be intimidating. You speak all the time, panels or keynotes or whatever. What preparation tips or habits help you show up feeling confident and ready to go on the stage?
I mean, the first thing for me is I genuinely love it. I think that helps. But the other thing is, I really like to get to know the people I'm presenting with. So if it is a panel, like I genuinely spend time with those people and like I want to understand what are you doing? What's your role? I do research on their company because for me, that gives me all of the information I need to direct the conversation.
Hmm.
I'm not someone who likes to practice a lot. A lot of people do. I find that if I practice a ton, it actually makes it worse. I'm more of
Hmm.
a person that needs to know my key points and then I kind of go out there and do my spiel. But that's not for everyone, right? So for me, it's really like doing the research, understanding the topic, and being prepared with my like three, 4 points that I really want to hit, and then kind of going out on stage and doing my thing. But you just have to kind of figure out what works for you.
Hmm. That's really interesting because I'm probably the opposite. Like I probably over prepare because I feel like I have to know the content information so well. But I think that what you do probably makes it more natural for people. So yeah, like you said, it's kind of what you're into and what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah,
But
I actually, if someone says to me, you have to say this exact sentence in this exact way, I like really struggle. I need to be able to kind of ad lib, like give me the high level theme and I'll go out there and I'll do it. But I also like to kind of pull on things that I learned from the day or the person who went before me or like themes from the conference because I think that kind of ties everything together. So I'm more of a kind of person who does that on the fly. So I really struggle when someone's like, say these exact words in this exact order in this sentence.
yeah. All right. Well, speaking of conferences, what are the must-attend conferences this year? When and any new ones on your radar? And of course, you can start with your own conference that's coming up. So tell us about that one. But what are new ones or must-attend ones?
Yeah, I'm a little biased. So Digital Shelf Summit, May 4th to the 6th in Atlanta. I'm planning a day of that one. So really excited about that. And then we have Digital Shelf Summit in London in October. So another
Okay.
really big one. And then I've been trying out some of the smaller conferences that you can kind of really get to know people in the audience. So the IAB Connected Commerce is a great event that I'll be attending. I'm actually going to the Retail Brew Conference, which is a new one for me. That's in
Hmm.
New York in April as well. And then I'll be at Grocery Shop. So I try to do a mix of the really big conferences as well as kind of some of the smaller ones that have been popping up because I think it's a really great mix of getting what's happening in the industry, but also really being able to connect with people in a different way in those smaller settings.
Hmm. That's nice. Did you go to E-tail as well?
Yes, and I was at ETEL West in Palm Springs, which was great too. And the sunshine was amazing coming from Boston.
Yeah, you really can't beat having something in Palm Springs in Q1.
That's a great idea. If you have your event, you should put some Tide to Go pens in there.
Okay, well, let's transition a little bit to women's leadership. So, what's something new that you're learning?
Oh, I'm super excited. I started vibe coding.
Mm.
So I got into, so on International Women's Day, Lovable was free. And I was like, okay, this is a perfect time to really kind of dive in. I dabbled a bit, but I was like, okay, let me dedicate some time to it. And I actually coded my own networking app, which I was really excited about
Oh.
because I meet a lot of people at conferences, and sometimes it's hard to kind of remember like who you met and where you met them. And so I really wanted to get kind of clearer on an app or a tool that could help me figure out who I met where and when I talked to them. And it was pretty cool. And I've been iterating on it and kind of using it and building more features and stuff. And I just think it's absolutely incredible what everyone is empowered to do now with AI.
So do you recommend Lovable?
I really enjoyed it. It was great. It was super easy. You really just like type in something that you're interested in. It asks you a series of questions. You continue to iterate. I mean, it had the colors I wanted. The interface was great. If I wanted to change anything, I just put it in plain language and it set the whole database up and it worked right out of the gate, which I was surprised from my standpoint that it worked because I know nothing about coding, but it was a really great experience.
Amazing. All right. Well, that's a good one. A new thing that you're learning. And then next question, I think you have so many, but what would you say is your superpower that has made you the most successful?
Well, thank you for that. I think connecting people is my superpower. Like I really, and I genuinely love that. Like I genuinely love meeting people and being like, oh, have you met this person? Like you should meet them because you could talk about this, or you're looking for a role, like they're looking for a role over here. I think this could be a good fit. Like bringing people together and connecting people is what gets me out of bed in the morning. Like I genuinely love doing that. And that's why I love leading the DSI because it's just a great community of people. And I think people rely on people so much, and it's just such a core element of our industry and just our lives. And so I really love seeing that and bringing people together and creating my own communities, both personally and professionally. Like I'm the one who plans the ladies' dinner, or we had an event at Every Eve before. Like I'm always trying to kind of bring people together because good people and good people make more good people.
Amazing. Well, you're in the right job then.
Yeah, exactly, right? It fits perfectly.
All right, last question. What's the biggest challenge you're navigating in your role now, right now? And is it something new or part of a broader shift happening in e-commerce?
I think it's really part of the broader shift, and that's navigating or balancing the hype versus like what really needs to get done. There is so much being talked about around AI, around agentic commerce, around AEO, GEO, insert acronym here. It's really hard to one, learn those things and stay on top of them, but really try to be clear for brands and retailers like, here's what you need to focus on. Here's what's really driving the business. Here are the elements of those things that you should think about, but everybody take a deep breath and pause. And that's not going to change tomorrow. We really need to kind of focus on the base business. So navigating that, I think, is really challenging for all of us, right? Because
Mhm.
things are changing so rapidly in our industry. There's a new announcement around AI or ChatGPT or whatever it is every other week. So listening to that, hearing, understanding how it impacts the broader base business, and then really helping to guide brands on what's important and what really matters.
Yeah, totally true. All right. Well, we'll all be seeing you at your conference on May the 4th,
May
right?
the fourth be with you. And Cinco de Mayo. We hit
And
two
Cinco de
holidays.
Mayo. I know that's my daughter's birthday every year is on Cinco de Mayo. And also May 4th, think a Star Wars theme, right?
Yes. We're gonna do some fun stuff. So anybody who's coming, it's gonna be really fun.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for the conversation. And I'm sure you're going to be looking amazing in amazing fashion at the next conference.
Thank you, Melissa. I really appreciate it.